Hi Taurus, here's a general look at your solar chart for November 2012, and every year at this time the Sun comes into the opposite sign to yours, and that's Scorpio, lighting up that area of close relationships, partnerships, fleeting relationships, but which are quite close for a time, or longer term relationships in your personal or your sort of working life. And this month, that means it's no time to be going it alone for whatever the reasons. And a key feature could be how to get the best out of partnerships or other types of alliances, how to cooperate, how to compromise. You and someone could be bonding more, especially after the 22nd. You could be negotiating a deal, maybe. You could be consulting, or, be the agent yourself, be the advice giver yourself, or consulting with someone, or maybe you and someone are forming a united front, or maybe it's just, some other type of association. But however it is for you, there is this feeling of mutual interaction, bouncing ideas off each other, and you may be depending on their slant on things, or their contribution, and vice versa. So basically you cannot go forward as successfully on your own as you can with in the company of somebody else, whether that's physically alongside you, whether it's at a distance. And this vibration can give love relationships and friendships a boost, very much so, especially after the 22nd, and also can deepen feelings. In fact, your mind may be pondering things very deeply for some of this month. And for some of you, this could mean more intimacy, particularly from the 22nd onwards. And you could also be sharing a joint interest in something that you share with another, for good or bad. Now, there's going to be a solar eclipse in this area, and solar eclipses are strange sort of animals, really, because you start to feel them before they actually happen, even into October, when you might be listening to this anyway. And that solar eclipse in your opposite sign is going to happen on the 13th of November, and in general it means the way opens for new beginnings in your close relationships. Whether they are working ones or personal ones, short-term ones, long-term ones. In fact, wherever you feel the need for upgrading, change, improvement. But in fact, the universe might have a say in this as well. So there's some kind of new beginning in your dynamic there, in close relationships. And even though the day of the eclipse is, and the moment of the eclipse is just on that day, which by the way can be seen in the southern hemisphere, I believe Cairns in northeastern Australia is going to get the longest visuals on that. Still, the vibration is going to be felt worldwide, as always with solar eclipses, and lunar eclipses to a much lesser degree. So this might mean that over the months to come you will feel the knock-on effects of that change. So if you can just put one foot in the right direction on the day of the eclipse itself, then that will set up a precedent which will start pulsing out over the coming months. Perhaps take the initiative on something on that day, or very close to that day. Day before is probably better. Taking the initiative on something, giving your view on something, compromising on something, cooperating on something, however it is, it's to do with close relationships anyway. And then, speaking of lunar eclipses, it's going to be one of those as well in the month of November, so it's very packed full of eclipses. And there's a lunar eclipse on the 28th, and for you, Taurus, that might mean that your financial situation, or the situation related to property or possessions, has a chance for change. Maybe things need to be integrated, maybe things need to be put on a new footing. It's up to on a new footing, or even a new fitting, because if you're sort of, maybe you've been on a diet, so you need a new fitting, or maybe it's the other way around, so you need a new fitting, but I actually meant to say a new footing. And there's some kind of new beginning there anyway, related to that very sort of materialistic aspect of your life. And that the effects of that one will only pulse out for around about a month. So it's kind of the ongoing change, the knock-on effect of the change, the adding to it, or whatever it is that you feel is necessary, if you feel anything is necessary at all. Now, in November, as I said, your mind will be perhaps more sensitive, perhaps kind of more introspective, until about mid-month. Discussions and ideas may become more involved. Correspondence may be just sort of touch on emotional areas for some of you. Or maybe it's not like that. Maybe it touches on the financial area, the property area, and anything, any aspect of a relationship where you're sharing with someone, kind of joint interests, joint monies, joint property, joint possessions, anything belonging to or shared with another, whether that's somebody you know personally or whether it's not, like some outside sort of agency. And your mind will be, the wheels of your mind will be turning, and also there will be this interaction between you, probably, and some of you may be taking or giving confidential advice, and perhaps sensing more than thinking, as your gut knowing will be very much enhanced at this time. Also at this time you could be feeling quite passionate about something or someone who touches you quite deeply, who triggers deeper feelings on the flip side and maybe pushes your buttons. But just trust your gut and try to avoid knee-jerk reactions, which tend to get you nowhere. Now, Mercury retrogrades into the previous house on the 14th, so Mercury comes out of this rather sort of deeper, introspective, emotional area on the 14th, and that then renews the emphasis on you consulting, you being more, on the mental level and not so kind of down in your heart and your gut over things. The whole retrograde period goes from the 6th to the 26th of November. Now, until of course, maybe you don't know, but Mercury retrograde times just kind of slow things down, make you feel as though sometimes your wheels are spinning in mud a bit in the area that Mercury's in. Until the 22nd, Venus's position means practical teamwork will be favourably highlighted, and you'll probably be in a cooperative sort of frame of mind with someone, wanting to coordinate with somebody else's requirements. You're more likely to have a reasonable interaction with health providers or anybody providing a service, or you providing a service for them, and sort of civilized, and any co-worker or anyone providing, anyone who's helping you out or who you are helping out. Socializing or romantic encounter could happen with someone centered around or within this kind of environment, and there's likely to be a female who is there with tea and sympathy, or maybe it's coffee and cigarettes, whenever you need it to. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I did, and there it goes, out across the whole world. Now, from the 22nd, Venus is in her favorite place. She moves from that rather sort of practical area into an area she just loves to sort of get comfy in, which is all about relationships, partnerships, close ones, fleeting ones, but close as well. And you and someone could be bonding, or you could find that you just could do business together. It can give a boost to your friendships, your family relationships, your love relationships, and your working relationships. So whatever kind of a relationship it is, you will benefit from their presence, their practical contribution or loving attention, and indeed turn it around the other way, and they can benefit from your presence, your practical contribution, your loving attention, your ability to, let go and compromise. Now, when Venus passes by Saturn on the 27th, however, you need to be a little bit careful there. The road gets a little bit rocky there, and you may have to take your connection with another a little more seriously. Maybe take a little bit more on because of a connection with another. And then until the 17th, Mars will be helping you to change gears and ditch whatever has outlived its usefulness, but you'll probably be processing a lot. There's a lot, even turbulence going on inside of you, or processing hopes and fears, researching something maybe, and also this is a time for kind of clearing the decks, Taurus, physically. So maybe some of you are going down the dump, maybe some of you are ditching stuff. But also maybe some of you have got stuff inside that you're kind of processing and you're kind of keeping the lid on. It could be around a relationship, it could be around finances, property, possessions, or just certain contracts or agreements, maybe an old contract or agreement, or you know, a newer one, or one that you're trying to get. And this could be an area where you have to be treading with a little bit extra care, watching your step, keeping your cards close to your chest, watching your P's and Q's maybe, and just having the feeling that you haven't got a free hand here. You're a little bit under somebody else's control here. On another level, someone may touch your feelings very deeply, or push your buttons. So ditto for what I was saying about where Mercury is, but actually Venus is coming into this lovely connection from the 22nd, so that is possibly not going to be too. Venus provides the buffer, so if that is the situation with you, it is not going to be too long lasting. And you may be sort of feeling inside of you that you want to do the right thing, or you want them to do the right thing, if it's a kind of moral obligation of some kind, or there's morals involved here. There may be deeper feelings in a relationship, whether it's a platonic one or not, actually. And for some of you, it can be sizzly time, definitely. But also, passions could be running quite high, and you can be productive, throwing your energies into something that you really believe in, that you're really sort of putting a lot of drive into. So passionate in that sense, but also passionate in the sense of having a sizzly time. But you still do need somebody else's kind of endorsement on things, this sort of feeling here. So you could be weighing the pros and cons on something, researching into something, digging and delving, finding the bottom line. And then from the 17th, Mars will cease stirring up your feelings in this area, and begin transiting an area where you can be learning through doing. You feel a lot more extrovert. You're joining up the dots. You're finding out stuff. You're communicating with others. Maybe even those at a distance. Maybe some of you are traveling, or maybe some of you are getting from more sort of the fresh air of new horizons are filling your lungs, and learning things as well that you didn't have a clue about before. Excuse me. So some of you may be getting out and about more, and this is a good time for a trip or to sign up for something, get busy with something, learn something new. And some of your physical energy will be going into pushing the envelope of your daily life, getting right outside of the mundane box. It is definitely time for you to reach out here, and maybe even reaching out for new information. And also you yourself could be helping others reach out, because you yourself could play the role of the guide, teacher, the mentor, but also your guidance is likely to be pretty strong all month, Taurus. Now, the major news last month was the move of Saturn on October the 6th, and it has now come into the opposite sign. So it is now opposite your sun sign and will be there until 2015. It was in the previous area of health and work from 2009, and this finally takes the pressure out of that area, you'll be pleased to know, where you maybe not have to have your nose so much to the grindstone, or maybe if it's been health issues, just like this sort of chronic situation on and on and on, or however it's been anyway, where you've had to just pay more attention to your physical being, your physical vehicle. And it puts now this emphasis of limitation and pressure into your house of close relationships until 2015. So over this long transit, you've got to work harder. You've got to take close relationships more seriously to balance your needs with theirs in close interactions, whether that's short-term, long-term. You've just got to work that little bit harder there. And you may not be in the best of moods with certain people at certain times, but hey, that's part of the course, isn't it? But anyway, more about that on my website. If you're not on there already, you can see what's written on there about my take on what that might mean for you. Jupiter, planet of expansion and potential abundance, is giving you the chance, however, until next June, to get your life on a better footing materially, whether that's with property, a space, inside, outside, with health, or maybe that's not your health, maybe that's somebody else's health. Maybe this health thing that's been going on has been very much to do with somebody else's health. But just now, Jupiter, the protective rays of Jupiter have come into this area and allowing you to really make improvements. Not the same area as Saturn, but a similar area, and putting your life on a better footing materially, with health, yours or another's, or with the use of your skills and talents, or rather sort of innate leanings, talents that you were born with, to get them into skills, and then turn them into something that you enjoy doing, something that's lucrative over the several months that Jupiter is in this area of your chart, without the added weight and the fly in the ointment of Saturn in your house of health or work. And then when the Sun moves on the 22nd, it goes into an area of, still it's an area of partnerships, but where there's more sensitivity needed, perhaps in a relationship, and you just need to be a little bit carefuler when you're handling somebody. Or in fact you feel a little bit more sensitive at times, but it might not be like that. It might be around property, financial situations, property situations, and on that more materialist level. And that's it for November. If you're not on my website already, you can go there and see what the slow moving outer planets are doing, and the words for everything I've been saying here are written up there. And also you might like to find the forecast for your moon sign or your rising sign, if this isn't it, and if you know what it is, of course. And I'll see you the next time.